What if you could fit your entire life into a backpack? I did exactly that, and wow, did I learn some lessons. From realizing that I don't actually need 10 pairs of jeans, to discovering that my emotional stability came from my furniture, this journey has been wild. What's up, everyone? I'm Nathan Olson. I was diagnosed with severe Crohn's at 17. The docs told me I had a better chance of finding a unicorn than getting off medication or avoiding surgery. But many moons later, I'm completely off meds, healthier than a superhero on steroids, and living life like a nomadic ninja. Suck on that, Dr. Bob. Here's the top 6 things I've learned. Number 1. I got a tremendous amount of certainty from my stuff. Same place, same car, same house, same people you hang out with, same area, all the stuff, the same clothes, being in the same routine. And when I took that away, I expected it to be free, to be fun, to be relaxing. Oh, I'm living life out of a backpack, to be fancy-free, to wander around the country unencumbered with all these material possessions. Which was all true, of course, but also it was terrifying. Are you kidding me? The amount of anxiety and panic I experienced, especially in the first 6 months, was insane and something I was totally unprepared for. Now, maybe I'm just random and not like normal people, and other people don't have that experience, but this is something to be aware of if you are considering selling all your stuff. I'm not discouraging you from doing it, but maybe taking small bunny hops first, going on a 2-week trip with just your backpack, going on a month-long trip with just your backpack, and then returning back to your home instead of doing it like I did, just going cold turkey, crazy mode, selling all your stuff and getting out there. It's been fun. It's been a journey, but it has been very terrifying. Number 2, you need way less than you think you do. Everyone says this, but it's very true. I have 4 shirts, 1 sweatshirt, 1 pair of jeans, 1 pair of sweatpants, 2 pairs of shorts, boxers, socks, 1 pair of shoes, and of course, flip-flops for those beach days. Are you kidding me? Now, I'm a guy, granted, my style can be very simple. I can wear black t-shirts like this and a pair of jeans and get away with it at almost any social event. If you're a girl, this may be a little bit more difficult. It may be a little more challenging, or you're a dude with a much better fashion sense than me. I totally understand. But still, we need way less than we think we do. Most of the stuff in our house, in our lives, we don't actually use. So even if you don't want to live out of a backpack, you can go through your closet and ask yourself, if I haven't worn this, when's the last time I wore this? Was it a year ago? Was it 6 months ago? The temptation is to say, well, I haven't worn it a year, but I just love this dress. I love this shirt. I'll probably wear it now. No, you probably won't. Just sell it, give it away, pass it on to someone who will actually use it. Number 3, the habits you develop before you make a leap like this matter. For instance, one of the first things I do when I go to a new location, because I travel around a lot, is get a gym membership. A lot of gyms have 2-week passes or month-long passes that are fairly inexpensive. And the reason I do this is A, I like working out. B, a lot of people in gyms are very similar to my type of vibe, so it's very easy to meet new people and connect with new people. And 3, the weights are always the same. 50 pounds is still 50 pounds, whether you're in Texas, California, or Washington. Wherever you are, they are the same. This provides some sort of consistency and routine for me in an otherwise very inconsistent and crazy type of lifestyle. The truth of the matter is that we fall to the level of our habits when we're under stress. And because this is new for me still, living out of this backpack, even though I've been doing it for about a year, it's still a very new lifestyle. I spent many years not doing this, and now I am doing this for 1 year. And so it does create a lot of stress, not necessarily in a bad way, but it's a new experience of life. And we fall to the level of pre-existing habits that we already have when we're under stress. So if you're considering taking a leap, whether it be living out of a backpack or moving to a new town or quitting your job and trying to get a different job, I would encourage you to focus on developing good habits in the times when you're not stressed out, in the times when your life is a little bit more stable, so that when you are stressed out, when you do induce stress on your life, or it comes into your life in a way that maybe you didn't want, you fall to the level of those pre-existing habits that you built in the time when you actually felt good. Another one for me is meditation. This has been easily one of the biggest bang for my buck as far as results for time invested, things that I've ever done in my life. I've meditated consistently for 8 years now for about 20 minutes a day, and the amount of result I get for those 20 minutes is just massive. It's absolutely compounding. So those are two examples of habits that I have built previously in times when my life was a little more boring. It was a little less, not boring, let me say a little more stable, a little more consistent, a little less stressful than it currently is. And those habits have carried me through this time when it's a little more chaotic and a little more wild. Number 4, everyone says they want to travel around, be free, have drinks on the beach, not have to work, not have any of this routine, this normal humdrum, blah, blah, day-to-day, blah. But most of us honestly don't. Like I said in the beginning, living out of a backpack has been one of the most anxiety-inducing experiences of my entire life. There's just no stability. It's wild. It's crazy. You do not realize how much stability you get from your routine. I think the problem for most of us is that we're so steeped in routine. We're so steeped in stability. We're so steeped in the normal day-to-day grind that we don't have any variety at all. So this big switch to living out of a backpack and going in this crazy, freedom-filled, very uncertain, very non-stable lifestyle sounds very appealing. Instead, for most of us, I think a better alternative may be just to work on increasing the variety in our life. Stability and routine are not bad. For instance, I've seen a huge rise in people saying, oh, you have to become an entrepreneur if you want to make money in the world, if you want to make an impact. And that's just not true. There's something amazing about having a 9-to-5 job and having that consistency and stability that some people really gravitate towards. I unfortunately and unfortunately am not one of those people. I need more variety, I would say, than the average person. But I think for most of us, if we just took that variety dial and turned it from 0 even up to 4 or 5, instead of trying to go all the way to 10, we would experience much more enjoyment and much more pleasure and satisfaction out of life, because we need to get our certainty from somewhere. And like I said, a lot of people are pulling that from the stability of their routine, their job, the same people, the same places, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But our certainty dial is cranked to 10, and our variety dial is at 0, and then we feel very out of balance. So for most of us, I don't think living out of a backpack is a very realistic endeavor, but you can learn from this, turn your variety dial up, and I think you'll have a lot more satisfaction in your life. Number 5, relationships are what matter, truly. It's been amazing for me to be able to travel around, spend time with my friends. My friends have been so open and welcoming to me, very kind, very generous. And it's easy to think, especially with the internet these days, that everyone's just out to get you and nobody's kind to each other these days. And that has just not been my experience. I've traveled to multiple cities, been in multiple different states. People, most in general, are kind, are trying to help out other people, are looking for ways to connect. We're all human beings. We want to connect with each other. We don't want to be isolated. We don't want to be angry with each other. We don't want to be fighting with each other. We don't want to be always talking about politics and divisiveness and all this stuff. We want to be in connection and build relationships. That has honestly been one of the biggest benefits for me of living out of a backpack, is I have spent more time with friends this year than I have in a very, very, very long time. And it's like concentrated time, because I'm living with them. I'm crashing on their couch or crashing in their room or something like that. And that has really been a huge benefit of this, but also something that you can apply in your own life, even if you're not living out of a backpack. Just turn that friendship dial up a little bit, reach out to people, connect to people, because I know personally that it's very easy to fall into routine, not reach out to people, and then think that nobody actually wants to hang out with you, when the truth of the matter is we're all sitting at home feeling lonely, feeling like none of our friends want to hang out with us, but no one's willing to make the first step. No one's willing to make the first move and invite people over and do something and start something. So if you take anything away from this video, go out there, reach out to somebody, plan something on your calendar, connect with people, connect with your friends. It will increase your health. It will increase your joy for life. And it's something that you could do without living out of a backpack and going crazy mode. Just turn up that friendship dial a little bit. Number 6, you can absolutely change your life. It just may take a while. With Crohn's, I was terrified of getting in a car. I hated road trips because my stomach would be sick. I would need to use the bathroom with some urgency while you're stuck in a car or while you're on the plane, in that part where they're taxiing on the runway and then they take off and they have to climb to a certain altitude before you take your seatbelt off. I hated that part because the fear was in my head always, what if my, stomach starts to be in pain and I need to use the bathroom, but I can't get up out of my seat because we're on that takeoff portion, and it would just be panic inducing for me and honestly make the symptoms worse. And now I fly all over the country. I've been on planes at least once a month, if not twice a month. I'm in an airport flying somewhere, and I'm so relaxed now in that period that I literally meditate during the takeoff phase. And I say this not to brag or be like, oh, I'm so cool, but that is a complete 180, a complete transformation to the guy who was afraid to get in the car, to the guy who was afraid to go on planes, who I was so terrified of getting in cars that even after I felt better for 2-3 years, when people would suggest road trips and long trips, if I wasn't driving, if I was sitting in the back seat, I would feel this sense of panic and anxiety, like I'm not in control. What if I have to use the bathroom? Even though that wasn't a problem for me anymore because I felt so much better, those old feelings would return. That's how powerful it was. So no matter where you are in life, you can absolutely change it if you want to. It just may take a while, but the years are going to pass anyways. One of my favorite quotes is, most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in a decade. I started this journey to becoming the version of myself that I wanted to become over a decade ago. It's taken me a very long time. And if you would have told the 25-year-old, 23-year-old me that this is who I was going to be in 10 years, I would have laughed in your face because it was so outrageously different from the current experience I was having in my life that it would seem absurd and ridiculous. So if you have an absurd and ridiculous dream and a crazy goal and a different way that you want to experience life and move through the world, aim at that, point your direction of the boat of your life in that direction and start making minor course corrections and adjustments and move towards that. You can get there. It just may take time. Now, if you're really struggling with Crohn's or colitis and want some more advice and tips and help with that, check out this video here where I give you 10 of the most impactful things I've learned in the last decade of chronic illness. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was valuable for you, and we'll see you on the other side.